Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video here at tablemon. Thank you so much for tuning in. So I know we're tired of hearing Dragapult, but hear me out. This version of Dragapult, I don't know why, it just seems very appealing. The idea of combining the damage counters from Dragapult EX's attack with the damage counters from Sableye's Lost Mine just seems like a match made in heaven to me. And playing the Lost Zone engine with a stage 2 has produced some decent results in the past combined with Charizard. Now, hear me out though. Like, usually, if you've played Lost Box before, after you Buddy-Buddy Poffin on turn 1, every other Buddy-Buddy Poffin feels very, very underwhelming, doesn't it? Because you can't fetch your Cramorant or your Sableye or any other attackers, but now you actually get use of the Buddy-Buddy Poffins, you can fetch those Dreepies, and then the Dreepies will become Drakloaks as well, which help you recover from the constant Iono use that you get if you're playing Lost Zone, and you have the powerful attackers. So I feel like there's something to this. I have not played a single game with it, so we're going to be learning as we go, but I feel really confident that this deck has the potential, all right, to be really good. Whether it will be good enough, that's a whole other subject, and we will determine it with enough testing, all right? And the 2 or 3 games that I show in this video will probably not be enough to form a full opinion, but on paper, I like the deck. I like the idea behind the deck. The early aggression with Cramorant, which can also set up some nice numbers for Dragapult EX, the combination of Sableye plus Dragapult, and the fact that since Jirachi does not stop Dragapult EX's damage counter placement, then that makes Sableye an even stronger play, in my mind, all right? We'll see if it works out. Other than that, we have the Colress, we have the Comfey, we have the engine, we have Ionos, we have Pokégear, we have Boss's Orders, we have Prime Catcher to chase. Perhaps TM Devo would have some place here. For now, we're going to play it like this, only through Mirage Gate. I would love the 4th as well, but we're not so reliant on Mirage Gate, right? We also have Radiant Charizard for extra damage, so we seem to have it all. Let's see if it works out. Let's jump some games. Alright, so we're going first this time. Pretty solid start. Cannot complain. We have the Poffins. We have attachments for turn. We could also dedicate an energy to retreat, get more cards in the Lost Zone, but kind of want to give myself a chance at getting a turn 2 Dragapult EX, so because like getting to 7 is pretty unrealistic anyways, but finding Rare Candy Dragapult seems like my best path at getting turn 2 Dragapult, so I'm gonna keep the Ratzard as an option for the future. Didn't really price check too well. All right, we're gonna attach and I'm gonna pass. Seeing that Natu, you have to assume that my opponent will be playing Dragapult EX themselves. Now we will be able to Colress. I do need a very specific Colress though, or like I need 3 specific cards. I need Rare Candy Dragapult and a Switch card in order to accomplish my goal, and that's a big ask from a Colress, my top deck, and the Flower Select. So we'll see. Yeah, we shall see. My opponent just Poffins, attaches for turn, and goes for the triple strike, which these damage counters, if they flip heads, could be important, right? It does set up a little bit of damage, but if I knock out this Natu, which now, wow, nice. So ideally, I knock out Dreepy with Prime Catcher, knock out Natu as well. But if I just knock out the Natu, then I have the possibility to, with Cramorant, then I know I'm not getting attacked by the Dreepy at all, or the Dragapult. So that seems pretty good. That gets me there. There's the Dragapult. Do I want another Dreepy or do I want the Colress? I'm gonna choose the Dreepy just because I already have a Colress in my hand. My opponent didn't have Iono last turn, so very unlikely to have it this upcoming turn. And I priced the Cramorant. No way. Dang it. Alright. Well, now I need one of my 4 switch cards, or one of my 2 switches, or my Rescue Board, or my Prime Catcher. Any of those cards gets me past the finish line. I only had a Dreepy in my hand. No, never mind. That's the what I grabbed. All right. Big flower select here. No. All right. Well, Drakloak. Oh no, Drakloak can't get me there because I only have. If I go Rare Candy, then. Oh, dang it. How did I prize the Cramorant? Oh well. It is what it is. Do I even Rare Candy at this point? I'll just give myself. Well, I will. Give myself the Dragapult. I think that's important. Just leave that ready to go, right? Very threatening. I'm gonna bench on our Dreepy and then I'll pass. Dang, so close. So many outs too in the deck. I mean, finding Rare Candy Dragapult was the difficult part, right? The other, I have so many ways to switch, but I was not able to do so. So that gives my opponent another turn to potentially stabilize. Chooses to grab Manaphy, maybe not understanding how the damage protection works, which is understandable. I've had many players ask me that question in the Dragapult videos everywhere. No. Alright, well there's the Rare Candy punish for not choosing Drakloak. Dang it. I mean, they had to have something, right? Ugh. That's so annoying though. That is so annoying. I mean, I could still find the next, and I got the boss's orders too. All right, it is what it is. There's the Switch card finally. So let's grab the Dragapult, the Super and the Switch card. I mean, I'm still not gonna be able to attack, but it's fine. We're gonna go Flower Select. I feel like the Colress is important now since I already have the attachments. Like I said, we know my opponent's really not doing much, if at all. So far, Switch card healing the Comfey could actually be good. Well, there's a candy. There's no way they have 2 TM Devos, right? Absolutely no way. All right. So all good. Now we will finally be able to attack. There's 1 exact energy on the board, which is fine. We're gonna get the Rare Candy into this. We're gonna heal the damage, and we're finally gonna be able to attack. So as it looked, yeah, this is possible, but it's also very convoluted in how you do it. Now, I'm tempted to put the damage here because that doesn't evolve, but if I do this and then my opponent evolves into the Dragapult, then I can hit it for 200, then it'll have 260, and then I can go boss and then put the 6 damage counters there, and that opens up some perfect maths. So that was my reasoning right there, which in my mind makes sense. I am at 7 cards in Lost Zone now, so with Colress plus a little bit of switching cards help, I could potentially use Sableye in this upcoming turn. My opponent cannot have Rare Candy Dragapult plus Iono, for example. Cannot have Rare Candy Dragapult plus Psychic either, so did have Dragapult and did have Psychic. But clearly the other card was not Rare Candy, so we might see Luminion for Iono, which is very understandable. That will take away my Colress, meaning utilizing Sableye will pretty much not be an option for me in the coming turn, but that's okay. Like, I'm in such a good spot that I really don't mind. I also have the possibility to shuffle my deck, right, and then find the boss and just knock out both Dreepies. That's also pretty good. Or now the Drakloak plus the Dreepy. I cannot get another Comfey to get to 10 to then use Sableye because I'm bench locked. So perhaps benching that Dreepy was not the smartest move. I don't know. Yeah, like, we're all learning. It's a learning process. Just wanted to give this a try because I love the idea of having Phantom Dive damage counters plus Sableye damage counters. That sounds like a dream, a match made in heaven, a dream come true. being able to have this damage counter placement into 12 damage counters afterwards, that sounds like, you cannot say that doesn't sound appealing. So, alright. I wonder if there's a universe where a Dragapult deck can use less Comfey and just play a lot of Colress and Lost Vacuums to get there, maybe? Not sure. Alright. We do get counter-catchered. Completely okay with that. Alright, so I'm gonna play the Poffin on the off chance. I mean, number one, to shuffle my deck, but on the off chance that I can lock into the Colress. Yeah. Or finding boss. Either of those would make me very, very happy. Now, I do have a 3-price turn knocking out Drakloak, 1 damage counter here, 5 here, so that's really cool to have. As long as I find boss or the Prime Catcher. And then I'm going to establish the Sableye, just have that threat available, because then I could potentially knock out this and this, which would also be pretty good. Although the Phantom Dive play is way better. So boss or, alright, boss or the other thing, the Prime Catcher. And now Drakloak's first, because then I have more information in my hand to make my choice with the Flower Select, which is important. I'm just going to establish another Dragapult. Like, I can also just out Dragapult my opponent, right? That's going to be more than good enough. We're going to Colress, I mean Comfey. I mean, you never know. I don't want to shut down my Jet Energies. Yeah, I don't want to shut down my Jet Energies. I'm probably not going to be counter-catching a lot, right? But that's okay. Right, there's the Jet Energy, of course. Oh, but now I can't use Sableye. Well, never mind. That's okay. Oh, no way. I found the Colress, but also... Oh, I don't even have Psychic Energies in my deck, I don't think. So, never mind. I wasn't going to be able to use Sableye anyways. I don't have I do have Psychic Energy. Alright, well, live and learn. Was not able to get what I needed, so I'm only going to be getting 2 prize cards, but that's okay. Yeah, that's generally okay. We're in a pretty good spot anyways. We're 3 prizes ahead before my opponent is going to do 200 and not take a single prize card. And we had a lot of better choices potentially, but so far so good. On to the next one. Alright, so my opponent will go first. We have a pretty decent-ish start, and we get a mulligan. So we find out that we're up against Gardevoir. Without Jirachi, Sableye's gonna have a good time. Yeah, and a lot of decks have been taking out Jirachi, or will probably be taking out Jirachi because of Dragapult. So my opponent's not going to be happy when they see that Sableye. He will start the Screamtail and start Greninja. So already very little space for Jirachi and multiple Gardevoirs and an attacker and whatnot. Now I do need to be careful with the Screamtail, which is understandable. Probably not a threat next turn. Now, Iono gets discarded, and the Drifloon, both very good cards to see hit the discard pile, especially that Drifloon. And this is something I talked about back in social media. Like, I can't understand how Gardevoir decks are getting away with running 1 Drifloon. It's like, are you not getting disrupted? Because their counter argument was like, well, you have Super Runs, right? It's like, okay, sure, you do, but like, are you really just like not getting disrupted and always having Super Rod plus a way to find the Drifloon? It didn't make much sense to me when they were saying that. Alright, now I have Rare Candy Dragapult in my hand, and an Iono has been discarded. That probably means there's another Iono in the hand. Now I'm choosing not to Nest Ball so I can see what I get off of this Colress, and then I'll decide. So these 3 cards seem pretty important here. I have enough ways to switch. Prime Catcher is a cool card, Super Rod for recovery, and then Buddy-Buddy Poffin gets me a lot of basic Pokemon here, so we're gonna go ahead and get both of these. All right, now I think about it, maybe maybe grabbing double Comfey would have been slightly better. Yeah, double Comfey would have probably been slightly better. Alright, but we find another Dreepy, so now we get double Dreepy, double Comfey, which is nice. But that was definitely a little convoluted. Yeah, and I played 2 Cramorants too, so it's like, last game I priced both Cramorants. That would have been such a different game if I hadn't priced both of them. But it is what it is. We will go ahead and Colress. I mean, Flower Select into Colress. Alright, I will take that. Now I have already attached for turn. But if I don't get Iono, which I fully expect I will be, I have multiple other Drakloak, so it's fine. Now, I don't expect my active Comfey to go down next turn. So I'm just going to pass the turn. I fully expect to get Iono out of my Colress, my Rare Candy, and my Dragapult, but it is what it is. It's part of the game. The discard of the Iono is the tell, right? If you're like, that's something that's very subtle maybe in some situations, but if you're paying attention to what your opponent is doing, there's always those small potential tells that you can use in order to give yourself a big advantage, and that's exactly one of them. So very important to keep track of what your opponent did or didn't do during their turn, because that can help you and give you more information on what you can expect from them as well. So I could shuffle my deck with Buddy-Buddy Poffin to give myself a better chance at finding Rare Candy Dragapult next turn. I feel like I'm pretty happy going with Cramorant Aggression as well. I think I'm okay with that, especially leaving the Greninja at 2 damage counters away from getting KO'd leaves a nice room for Dragapult to get multiple KOs. Knocking out the only Kirlian play could also be a good option as well if I just want to take a chill and go boss, cram, KO, whilst I Flower Select once or twice with the Switch Card and get an attachment down. That's also perfectly fine. Would be even better if I'm able to get a Drakloak, right? Then that would be fantastic, but all good, you know? Now, Irida and Boss. So this is more like the second place list from the Support Champions League, which honestly should have won. They misplayed themselves out of the win. I was thinking of making a short video about that one, like a short for YouTube, because it was so clear how to go about your potential win, and then they just completely fumbled the bag, which, all right, now that we know they have the Gardevoir EX in their hand, that means there's even more merit to going for the boss play. So I am 100% going to go for that. I'm going to keep the Mirage Gate available for powering up purposes. I'm going to go ahead and retreat into the Flower Select, hoping to find a Drakloak. That's like the missing piece. Okay, Rare Candy is also is almost as good. I mean, that does mean if I find a Dragapult, I could start using it, but that's a little greedy, it feels. So I'm just gonna go be content with the Kirlia KO, get my attachment for turn. Yeah, no need to get fancy, and my opponent immediately decides to concede. So I used my opponent's information against him, or against them. They didn't need to play that Ultra Ball. There was no need to play the Ultra Ball. Why would you play that Ultra Ball, right? You just told me, hey, look, I have a Gardevoir EX for next turn. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll go after your Kirlia. So on to the next one. All right, now this hand leaves a lot to be desired. Yeah. Triple Fire Energy. Very sad to see. And we're up against a Raging Bolt, which is probably a deck that can and will donk me potentially. So I'm just gonna go ahead and retreat, save my poor Dreepy, and pass. Now, having the 3 fires that I run in my starting hand is extremely low odds, so if we lose, we're just gonna chalk it to variance and no big deal. Like, this is not a loss that you should be like, oh my gosh, this deck, I'm not really sure about it. It's like, these things happen to every deck. Yeah, it's an unplayable hand. It is what it is. You have your Comfeys, your Dreepies, your Buddy-Buddy Poffins, your Colresses, and your Pokégears and whatnot. So it happens. Yeah, chalk it up to the next thing and move on. All right, now pretty interesting. They did get Ultra Ball, so if they're playing Luminion, which not a lot of decks are, I am playing it in my version as you saw the other day, but which feels like really good, but not a lot of decks are playing Luminion to guarantee that that Professor Sada in the beginning. They are getting rid of a lot of energies. They are going to attach, so if they decide to burst Roar, then they, yeah, that's a lot of energies gone. And then if they do have Luminion, that's still a lot of energies gone, right? That's 5 already in the discard pile. And if they Squawk, all right, I feel like they're playing this as if they're using like either Ancient Box or they're like Roaring Moon, right? And they lost their energy retrieval. Wow, so I think you need to be a little bit more measured. That's 7 energies gone plus your energy retrieval. If you were going for the donk, sure, all right, but the game's not over, and that's a lot of resources gone, a lot of pressure on the Sada. So if I find a Colress off of this Pokégear, I generally feel like I have a good chance at winning this just because of all the cards that my opponent used up in the beginning of the game. You know, there's still 2 Super Odds that they can get back, but this felt like a little too much. Yeah, it felt like almost they were trying to be the Roaring Moon EX deck from previous formats, and with 4 Dark Patch and Galarian Moltres V, absolutely, yeah, thin everything that you can and that you want to. But oof, that was like a lot, you know, but it could pay off. Yeah, my start definitely leaves a lot to be desired, so I might not be able to capitalize on what just happened. I'm glad it did retreat, but I mean, it doesn't change anything. Having a lone Dreepy with no energy in play doesn't really change much, if at all. So it all comes down to this Pokégear, pretty much. Now, I feel like there's always a debate between Pokestop and Pokégear. I'm going to Pokestop first because if I find Puffins or Nest Balls, then there's that increases the chance of the Pokégear hitting a Colress. In many instances, I will discard a Colress here, and people will be lamenting themselves over using Pokestop first instead of Pokégear, but I feel like this is the right way to do it. And there's a Puffin, yeah, that immediately, now there's 5 less cards in my deck, yeah, 5 less total cards in my deck that will help me potentially get closer to that Colress. And I'm even gonna go for the double Comfey, and now I can Flower Select. So these are like calculated risks that you can take that, to me, they make so much sense, right? But these are the little things that I can definitely tell you, oof, this is rough. These are the little things that I can definitely tell you make a huge difference that people don't realize. Now, this is awful though, wow. Because Iono would be nice here to help me recover, but Radiant Charizard is too good, so I'm gonna keep the Radiant Charizard, and I hope I don't regret sending that Iono if I fail the Pokégear here. So I'm gonna maximize my chances of hitting the Pokégear with another Flower Select, but that was a rough choice. That was definitely a rough choice. I get another Buddy-Buddy Poffin, that means 2 less cards in my deck, meaning I'm increasing my chances right here. I'm gonna get the Comfey and the Dreepy instead of double Dreepy, because I fully expect this Comfey to go down or something to go down, and we don't. No way. No way. All that effort, all that thinning, just gone to waste. Alright, well, let's try to buy some time, I guess. Somehow. Oh, dang. And that's part of the game, right? You do everything right, you get the bad start, you make the right moves, you try to recover, you maximize the possibilities, and it's still not enough. Oh well. This will force another Professor Sada out of my opponent. Another Professor Sada out of my opponent to potentially attack, or at least a Switch Cart, or their Prime Catcher. Things are looking very bleak though. Don't get me wrong, things are looking incredibly bleak, but we'll see. Sada gone, yeah, Pokégear found. We'll see if their Pokégear does manage to hit. But yeah, that Sada is also pressure on the resources, right? That's another energy that hits the discard pile. That's so many energies gone. 6, 7, 8, 9 out of potential 13. See a bug catching set. So they're playing the list as is from the Sapporo Champions League. They get another Ogerpon. I mean, Ogerpon is another attacker as well. Okay, well, they already had this Sada apparently. They were looking for a Nest Ball or an Ultra Ball to get the Raging Ball to get the most value out of the... And they have a second energy retrieval. Alright, that is not something that was in the list, so that is also surprising here. Might have switched from 2 Super Rod, 1 energy retrieval to 2 Super Rod. I mean, 2 energy retrieval, 1 Super Rod. I don't know, yeah. I'm still not in the best spot whatsoever, right? Definitely not in a good spot at all. And this Iono, I might end up regretting not keeping that Iono. We'll see. Yeah, we shall see. They have so few cards left in their deck now that even an Iono would not have been super impactful anyways. So I'm gonna have to be very like sneaky and clever with how I go about this. And it's gonna be very, very dire, but we'll see. Sableye could actually be one of the unsung heroes in this match. But they do get a knockout. That's fine. This is gonna be a difficult one to recover from. But we are up against a meta deck, right? So it's nice to see the matchup and whatnot. Okay. There's a knockout. I'm gonna promote the flower selecting Comfey, of course. And we do find an Artazon, which I kind of like, just to get a Cramorant out of the deck, because I might potentially attack with that. I do have 4 Colress, Iono, Switch cards, so can't believe I whiffed that Pokégear on that Colress, or even an Iono, right? I even had 5 outs. All right, fantastic. Colress found, that is huge. Hugest of huge things. All right, now I'm at, after this Colress, I'm gonna be at 5. I can't get to 7, so I'm gonna keep this. This will get me an extra energy, and then I need to keep the Switch cards. If I want to damage, I do. If I want to, no. I need to get rid of the Mirage Gate, which is fine. I will be able to attach an energy. Yeah, so Mirage Gate gone, less than ideal. Gonna switch card into the Cramorant. Now, I don't expect Iono, so I'm just gonna attach and pass. So this is like the least investment of resources. If they knock out my Dreepy, they only get 1 prize card. If I went Rare Candy Dragapult, attach, then that really encourages them with their 13 card hand to go all out into my Dragapult. Yeah. So that's why I'm trying to make them play also to the uneven price trade-off. Now, till then, they have 1 Professor Sada left. Probably some PAL bats in there, but there are 3. Wow, that's a... oh my gosh. Okay, that's another energy retrieval. Okay, that's scary for sure. But if they knock out their Raging Bolt... Alright, well, they have the boss, dang it. And they're probably gonna switch card away the Raging Bolt and knock me out with Ogerpon, right? Playing boss means they can't Sada. Now they just have the lightning, okay. Alright, so now I need to find Mirage Gate. Anyways. They're gonna knock me out. I need to find Mirage Gate. If I find Mirage Gate, we could be in a fine spot. But I'm glad I didn't go Rare Candy Dragapult and I didn't invest all those resources. And yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. This is so harsh though. Alright. With the Artazon, I'm probably gonna need another Dreepy. I mean, it's looking incredibly dire, don't get me wrong. It's looking incredibly dire. If I do manage to get the Mirage Gate and the knockout... Oh no, but I'm down my Fire, so I need Super Rod as well. But, I mean... that's what I was gonna say. Like, maybe they whiff next turn, they put back the boss. Dang it. really rough here. I'm losing hope. I am definitely losing hope. And they even heal out of range. That's probably the nail in the coffin. I mean, yeah, that's probably... Oof. Okay, well, let's push onwards. It's not over yet. All right, that's a good card to get. The last Dreepy is in the deck, right? Yes. So let's get the Dreepy. Let's get the Dreepy. All right. I have one Mirage Gate. Oh my god. Well, it's not looking good, but we'll see. No Mirage Gate found. Prime Catcher, Jet Energy. Yeah. Okay. So let's go Flower Select. I mean, I think it's too late for me to Colress. I'm gonna need, like, if I'm gonna make a comeback, it's gonna be through my Iono. So just giving up on that. And I'm gonna go Jet onto the Comfey. This is not looking good for our hero Dragapult. Okay, I mean, we can work with that. Okay, that allows me to attack this turn. It could also attack with Radiant Charizard. But so let me think this through. I mean, I do have the Prime Catcher, right? Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Put the 3 fires back. And I'm gonna... Oh no, I'm not even knocking out. Right. We thought... Well, I can knock out with Radzard. And then... Can they knock me out with Ogerpon? They would need 1 more energy. Is it grass or is it any type? It's any type. Okay. So... Do I go after this Raging Bolt? Yeah, alright. So this is the new plan. Try to stick this Raging Bolt. What is the plan? Try to stick this Raging Bolt with the Dragapult. Yeah, I think that's my best course of action right here. It's what asks the most out of my opponent. Alright, so we're gonna do 200. And then 1 damage counter here, 1 damage counter here, 1 damage counter here. I guess I'll do the rest here in case they end up healing again somehow. Alright. I'm clearly not doing Rare Candy Dragapult Mirage Gate again. So I need Dragapult to survive. Somehow. They're down a Switch card. They only put 1 Sada back. They Bravery Charm the Ogerpon. It's manageable. Oh, they just have the Sada Raw. Might have been from the prize cards. Do they find the fighting? Yes. Man. Everything was just stacked against me. It felt. Okay, so how do they need to get rid of 5 energies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and they have 10. So do they leave anything vulnerable? No, I don't think there isn't. Yeah, they leave both Raging Bolts powered up, which is the way to do it. And now I'm down my Prime Catcher, right? So yeah, I don't see how I could do it. Yeah, maybe the approach I did last turn was not correct. I do have Counter Catcher still left. So I mean, I can try, right? I can get Sableye here. I do have Drakloak. So I'm looking at the next 5 cards. I'm looking for a Psychic. I'm looking for Iono. And then Iono probably gets me the rest. So let's do Drakloak first. Okay, Psychic is one of the pieces. Can I find the Iono now? Yeah, that Ratzard is really staring at me like, hey, imagine if I was the Iono you got rid of. Just imagine the possibilities. Yeah, no! Come on. These are the 2 cards I need. Come on, man. I mean, obviously they have energy, right? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They obviously have 1 energy. Do they? I can't believe this, man. I cannot believe I got exactly those 2 cards. Any other combination, and then I Iono into the Counter Catcher, and I have a genuine chance. I cannot believe that. Why can't stupid Ogerpon have a 2 retreat cost? Unreal. It's also gonna take me like a million years to knock everything out. Well, maybe not. I mean, they have 1 energy. There's no way they don't have 1 energy. The Switch card they used to heal the Raging Bolt was a pretty big deal. My start, I mean, it all comes down to the start, right? Obviously, it all comes down to the start. They're gonna have 1 energy. Probably. Oh, I can't believe it. I actually can't believe it. Hello? Okay. I mean, either they're pushing my buttons and Batmannering me, or they're playing 12 energies. They're down their Retrieval, they're down their Swoop Rod, they're down their Switch Cart. You can Iono me all you want. Maybe they have Sada and they have 1 and yeah, they must have 1 energy left. So then they Sada try to find it. Yep. Oh, dang it. If I Iono, I mean, they had the energy in the deck, right? But if I Iono Counter Catcher, I have a genuine chance. Oh my god. If I don't have the absolutely horrendous start, we also win this one, so, or we might have had a better chance, right? So, dang. So close. And it all comes down to that choice that I had between Radiant Charizard and the Iono. if I pick that Iono and I played that turn, the whole game completely changes probably. I find my attackers, I'm able to develop my board, maybe find a Drakloak, right, much earlier, potentially Colress. So that small decision, yeah, and that's why these decks are so delicate. But as mentioned, yeah, my start was just so unfathomably bad that it was hard to say. But perhaps because it was so bad, I should have just given up on the Radsard. There was not going to be time for that, and I should have just focused on trying to get a better setup, right? And then I don't have the Radiant Charizard option anymore, and it looks like I would have been okay. But live and learn. GG to my opponent, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for tuning in, and bye-bye.